Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Bianca, and I am currently in the process of applying into MSN programs, to get my Master's of Science in Nursing. So I wanted to just record my journey, and starting with this video, I wanted to record how I was taking the TEAS test, giving you guys any insight on how I was taking it during COVID, and also just how I studied for it and how I achieved an 87.3% score overall, which would put you on the advanced level. And yeah, so I just wanted to share some, how my experience was with the TEAS test. Um, so I currently live in LA, Los Angeles. So we are still like on quarantine. Like, I don't know how restrictions are in other states or how you guys are doing, but hopefully everyone's safe and good. But over here, we're still supposed to be on lockdown. Yes, so supposed to be on lockdown for like a month. I don't know, like people aren't really, people are still out and about, let's just say that. So but yes, so for the TEAS test, I had to take it, at home with a proctor. And what helped me too was that I recently had just did some of my prereqs, and our tests were with proctor. So I was already familiar with proctor. And yeah, because I feel like at first it could be a little intimidating because you just have like a little camera like right there. You could just see your reflection and you could hide it, but like like I don't know, I just feel like someone is like literally just staring at me through that. So it was a little intimidating at first, and then you start to like worry and stuff because like first it tells you like before the test to show your room, so they can make sure that you're not cheating, you don't got anything on the walls like or anything like writing and stuff. I was allowed like one piece of scratch paper and like a non-scientific calculator, but other than that, make sure you're not looking at anything because I think the person that's proctoring you gets like a notification that your eyes aren't on the test or like you're moving around and stuff. So that was a little bit like intimidating at first because I know how I am. Like I'm probably like I will look somewhere and then I'm like, oh crap, like did they get like something, or like I'll just like doze, like I don't know, look somewhere else, and then I start it's but other than that it was good. So yeah, so I was able to use a basic non-scientific calculator. You do get a calculator on the test, but for me it was just like I don't know, like I just asked them, can I use one, and they said yes, because I thought, I don't know, for me I'm like, if I'm like looking for the calculator on the test and like clicking, but I just felt like that would take longer and you are timed. So I just asked them like, can I use my own non-scientific calculator, and they're like, sure, you just have to show it before the test starts. So once you're like going around showing your room, like you also show the scratch paper, like, okay, and I have a scratch paper here, nothing in front and back, and then here's my non-scientific calculator, and yeah, that's it. So that was it for like I guess the difference if COVID wasn't around. And then just make sure you also have a spot where like it's not a lot of noise, like if you live with family and stuff, like make sure you're like, or like roommates, make sure you have a good spot where you get no noise, and like you can really focus on your test. Like hopefully you do have a spot like that, but try your best to find like a good quiet spot in your house. um but yeah, so throughout this, like if you guys aren't familiar with the TEAS test, it's divided into 4 sections: the reading section, the math section, the science section, and then the English and language section. So I'm not going to lie, I mainly focused on the math and the science section because I felt like that would give me probably the most trouble. I didn't really focus on the reading section. I just assumed like it's the reading section. Don't do that, okay? Like make sure you study everything. But for me, I was just like, it's just the reading section, and that actually ended up being my lowest score. Like even though I passed, but I did get like a 78.3. So I will be posting probably pictures because I was trying to like show them on here, but it just wasn't focusing, it just wasn't. So but I'll probably be like posting screenshots because this is what it looked like, your scores right here. So 87.3, and then every section was divided into their own little scores. So like the reading, like I said, I got a 78.7, actually 78.7%. And yeah, that's the one I studied the least, and I'm just gonna blame it on my on being bilingual. That's what I'm gonna blame it on because that's the one I got the lowest on. But I mean, I still passed, and I just didn't really focus on it. I was like, it's just reading. But yeah, no, focus on everything because there'll be questions on there that are just like, what? So make sure you study everything too. The math section, I got a 96.9. That was my best section. Science section, I got an 87.2. And then lastly, English and language usage, I got an 87.5%. I'm really happy with my scores. I really am. And I studied for 2 months prior to the TEAS test. What also helped me though was because a lot of the science part I already kind of knew too, because I had recently just taken my science prereqs. So if you haven't taken any science or math or anything for a long time, I would suggest start studying at least 6 months prior. But if you got lucky like me, who you just took it right after taking these classes, I don't think you need that much if it's freshly in your mind, so for me it was fresh in my mind. I just started studying 2 months prior, and I just made sure to study at least 1 hour every day. I would like so my biggest asset, was this. I love this book, ATI Teas 6. This book right here, this helped me so much. So I studied this one, and then I also studied the online part of it. This was literally like what I needed, because at first I was all over the place. Like, I don't know where to study. I think I was like doing way too much, like studying everything I could think of, and then I'm like, no, I need to like know where to focus on. So this book right here helped so much with that. And then a lot of the stuff that was on here was on the test, like similar stuff. So I'm like, this was literally a blessing. But yeah, so what I did for my studying was I would look through every section. I mean, the first section I looked at is the science section, because that's the one I was more scared of. So I looked at the science section. I went through the whole thing. I would always have a notebook. I didn't so I would like read the section and then write my notes. I didn't write on the book because I figured maybe I might sell this later. But yeah, like, I love it because it just explains everything. So I would just read it, and then I would record myself reading it. So the reading parts, like anything that was like reading or like written out like a lecture, I would read them out and record myself doing it, like my voice. I do that because that's just a study habit that I have. So I would read it, I would record myself, and then there was like certain days, because I finished this book like in like a month, like less than a month. I finished the book. So after I was done with the book, I just would listen to my recordings, and I would listen to them like during my lunch break. I would listen to them, even before I went to bed. Like, I would just listen to me reading the sections, and I feel like that's how it really got ingrained in my head. Like, I just would listen to my recordings, and I learned that through one course that I had, because that really helped me. Like, I remember my instructor told me to do that, and that really helps. So that's what I would do. I just like recorded myself and listened to myself, and then I would keep taking these. This book is filled with quizzes at the end of each chapter, so those helped a lot too. Like, I would just do the quizzes, write them on my notes, and then they have like a long quiz with every single section in the back, and that also is what helped me a lot too. Like I said, I didn't really focus much on the reading, but if I was to give a tip, just focus on everything. Like, read everything at least, because I completely just like skipped that part, or just like I kind of read a little bit and I was getting the answers correct, so I'm like, I don't really need to like study this. But I would probably just study a little more. Like, don't think it's because there's like stuff on there that you probably wouldn't think, like main topic, main idea, and you're like, that sounds so easy, but then you start overthinking during the test. And honestly, the reading part is the longest part of the test. Like, it's just, I feel like you're timed, and that's the part where you have to like, also I would suggest, like, while you're studying, time yourself during these tests. Like, time yourself, make sure that you can complete these tests within like, like within an hour. The English and language part, that was the shortest part. It was like 30 minutes. So make sure, because I know how I am. I am a slow test taker. I take my time. So I had to really time myself to prior, because I had to be fast, because if you like, the reading part is the part where I'm like, I really take my time, and I think that's what probably like, hurt me. I could have got a higher score, because just reading those like stories or like those paragraphs takes time for me, because I'll read and then I'm like start overthinking when I read the questions, and then I want to read the paragraph again. So just time yourself, make sure you are working fast and efficiently, and like get it done. um so when you're on the test day, you're not struggling with time. That's like something you don't want to be thinking about during the test. So uh time yourself, study at least 1 hour every day. If you want to use my tip, which I love, is like record yourself during the lecture, so then you just listen to yourself before bed, or like even like throughout the day, and like trust me, it sticks to your head. Like you will randomly just be walking around and you're like, oh, what is in the mitochondria, like randomly, like it just sticks in your head. So I would suggest that. Also, I did use some apps. I didn't use them as much as this book though, but I did use the apps. I'm not going to lie. I'll probably post a picture, because this thing, I don't know, I just don't know how to zoom in, but it's the Teas Mastery app. It's like the ATI app. That app really does help. It really does. What I like about it was that you can take like different quizzes. So like you just take different quizzes throughout the day, and then it separates your questions. So like the ones you get right, you're able to like skip those, and then the ones you get wrong, they get added into a separate quiz. So then you have a quiz with all the answers you've gotten wrong throughout these tests. And then that helps a lot, because then I just look through the ones I get wrong, and I know I have to focus on those questions. I have to like keep studying for those questions, and that really helped me. So I use that in combination with the book, mostly the book. And then also my recordings helped a lot. And yeah, I achieved a good score. I'm proud of my 87.3, my advanced level. I'm proud of getting the also individual scores. I'm proud of those too. And yeah, just be sure to study every day on time. Don't cram everything last minute. Don't do that unless you're just that confident and I don't know, you just took the courses right off the bat. Like, I don't know, but don't do that. And yeah, like you should be good. And then yeah, during COVID, the only thing different is that you're taking them during proctor at home. And I don't know, for me, it was probably, I feel like it was okay, it was comfortable. And yeah, I'm currently in the process of like hearing back from schools. I did some interviews, and I submitted my T scores last week, because that's when I took it. And yeah, I will keep you guys updated on my process. I am very excited, and good luck to anyone taking the Teas test. Good luck to anyone also on the same journey as me, and stay safe, guys. Hopefully we get through this soon. Hopefully 2021 gives us more blessings, and I will be recording more videos on my process. All right.